Hey guys, welcome back. It is time for episode 3 of my Franchise Hockey Manager 9 Let's Play with the Seattle Kraken. Um, I hope that this isn't a super low energy episode, given what we're going to be doing here with the trade deadline, but uh, your boy's tired. Your boy has broadcasted 6 sporting events in the last 5 days while continuing to work my full-time job. I am beat. But I got some time today, so I want to make sure I don't have a game today. I don't have a game tomorrow. It's Thursday right now, so I'm recording this Thursday morning. I'll get it out Thursday night. My hope is to spend some spare time between Thursday and Friday recording a handful of videos so I can try to get caught up a little bit as the chaos starts again for me on Saturday. It's just the way it goes with hockey and basketball in full swing. So, at any rate, video 3, again, leave the video a like, subscribe, leave a comment, especially on this video. Let me know what you think of the deals that I'm going to make here, or we end up making. I don't have anything set up at the moment. We're going to do some fiddling around and seeing what we can find out. And then join the Discord. I'll put the link in the description below. So I had made one deal, and you may have caught it already. We traded Vince Dunn. I'll show you the transaction list here in a minute. There were 2 deals that we made. That's not what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. So the first deal we made was here. We traded Jonas Donskoy to the Anaheim Ducks for a 5th-round pick. It was all we could get, but it was just a draft pick that we got. So we added a 5th-round pick for somebody we weren't going to re-sign. And then the bigger deal that we made, and I couldn't hold off. I talked about how I like defensemen with that high defensive rating. Especially given that we are okay offensively, but it's defensively that we struggle. So Vince Dunn, probably our best overall defenseman, pretty decent ratings, good offensively. He's below average defensively. He's physical. He's got good mental ratings. We traded him along with Morgan Geekie, who is, again, an average 2.5-star player, an average player. His contract was up. We probably could have re-signed him, but we can probably find, 10 players who look just like him on in free agency, and a 7th-round pick to the Boston Bruins in exchange for Brandon Carlo. The main reason I made the deal was because Dunn's contract is up at the end of this season. We have, and he wanted, it was almost $6 million for 3 seasons. We have Brandon Carlo, who's the same age, who's much better defensively. He's not an offensive threat, but very, very good defensive ratings, and his contract is pretty reasonable. It's on average about $4 million. You see next year it jumps up to 5.7, but then it decreases every year after that. So we pick up Brandon Carlo to become our new number 1 for the long term here. And we give up Dunn, Geekie, and a 7th. And those were the only deals that we've made. So the trade deadline is coming up. Where is the trade deadline? Oh, it's March 3rd. Oh, we got plenty of time. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and sim ahead a week. We'll get through this one game against the Islanders. And then we'll start taking it day by day, and we'll start looking at some of the deals that we could potentially make. So I will see you in a week. All right, guys, we're back, and believe it or not, I think we solved our goalie problem here on the waiver wire of all things. I stepped away, and Mackenzie Blackwood was put on waivers, and we claimed said Mackenzie Blackwood. He had put up a 2.9. He hasn't put up great numbers. Goals against of over 3, save percentage right around 900. Hasn't put up great numbers in his time, but it's a 3-star, 3.5-star potential goalie. We claimed him, and we then put Martin Jones on waivers. Nobody wanted him, so he is currently in Coachella of our minor league system. We won our last game 4-3, which isn't ideal. I mean, I don't really want to win games, but we're winning them anyway. Alexiak, Schultz, Brandon Tanev, and then Wenberg in overtime. So we're 22, 26, and 2. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 5th worst record in the NHL. Philip Grubauer getting it done. Look at that. The best save percentage in the National Hockey, best goals against in the National Hockey League. 5th best save percentage. Just quickly look at our stats. Oh, Benier is or Beniers, excuse me, Matty Beniers. I'll get it right eventually. Matty Beniers is suspended for, I think he got suspended for like 8 games or something, so he's out for a while. Statistically, not great. Jared McCann, 18 goals in 49 games. Burakovsky and Schwartz, the only two with more than 10 goals. Not a lot of pluses on the plus minus side of things. Carlo, 13 games with us, 1 point. He's a -1. So it hasn't been great. But again, I'm not expecting it to be great here in year one, right? So Beniers is really the only untouchable player on the team. I mean, Blackwood, we're going to have to re-sign him because his contract expires. What's fine? That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and we have Grubauer locked up long-term as well, which I'm not crazy about, but that goes up to $7.5 million next year. Kraken, what are you doing to me? We may have to try to move some of these contracts. I mean, let's start. Let's just start. Let's see if anybody is interested in Yanni Gourde. No offers for Yanni Gourde. And I have a feeling we're going to have to piece together these contracts just based off, or piece together these deals, just based on what some of these players are making. Like, some of these contracts are just ridiculous. Brandon Tanev. No interest in Brandon Tanev. All right, what about... He's 27, he's 30. Schwartz, no one's going to want Schwartz. Eberle doesn't have a terrible contract. He's only got 2 years. No offers for Eberle. All right. Well, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can figure out. What am I doing? Trade offers. So who do we want? Let's look at the standings first. I think we look at the teams that are at the top of the divisions. See if we can get draft picks from them. So let's look at St. Louis and Winnipeg. Let's talk to St. Louis and Winnipeg. Let's talk to St. Louis first. What's their cap space look like? They got $6.9 million in cap space. Would you have any interest in Jordan Eberle? He has a no trade clause. Tampa? Will Eberle go to Tampa? I don't think they're going to have the cap space. Oh, they got $12 million. All right, so let's see here. Tampa draft picks. They don't have a first or a second. They won't even take a second next year for Eberle. A third for Eberle is well balanced. Ugh. It really is a matter of trying to clear out cap room, though. It's hardly likely that they'll accept a third and a fourth. Some decent young players. Isaac Howard. He looks okay. Actually, he looks quite good. I shouldn't say just looks okay. He looks really good. Some of these guys that I have scouting on obviously isn't ideal. Can we get a third for Tanev? He's using his no trade clause. All right. No movement. Toronto, Ottawa. What about Toronto? They're likely to overvalue. So if I give them Tanev, and I retain it's hardly likely. Look at that. They have 4 third-round picks. What if I take their third and I give them one of my fifths? No, what about if I give them one of my fourths? What if I give them Colorado's fourth? Hardly likely. Yeah, so we've got a first, 2 seconds, a third, 2 fourths, and 2 fifths. So, I would like to move up obviously, and try to get more first round picks, but I don't know that we have the talent to make that happen. So what about Brandon Lisowski? Bio, he was a 7th round pick by Toronto. Personality, goal scoring ability. I mean, I do all that checking, and there's no guarantee that they're even interested in that. Yeah, hardly likely. But these are the contracts I got to get off the books. I got to get them off the books somehow. So what will the Leafs give me? Will you give me a 4th round pick? A well-balanced, so a 4th round pick next season for Brandon Tanev. Like, it's not great, but it truly is just about clearing space from our cap so we can make a run at better players. So let's just offer the deal, I guess. Let's go ahead and see what they tell us. An injured or suspended player. Borgen is hurt. I don't have any defensemen. Coachella. Who can I call up? Oh, Riker Evans all of a sudden leaped into a 4.5 star defenseman. Oops. I don't want to call him up yet. Just call up Cale Fleury, not Fury. Fleury. Replace with Fleury. All right, have we gotten an answer yet? I don't think so, because it was just the one day, right? Let's sim ahead this day. We're at New Jersey. It's a 4-1 loss. Yeah, I mean, if we can... Okay, so no way. It's close to being all right. All right, so what if I give you, like, another late round pick? What if I give you one of my 7th next year? And see if that works. Yeah, I obviously getting actual players back would be beneficial, would be preferred. As we beat the Rangers 5-4, that would be preferred, obviously. But I don't know that. I don't know that we're going to be able to do that. We may end up just trading them for all low draft picks, which kind of suck. But Schwartz with his 11th, Burakovsky with his 12th, Donato with his 3rd. So yeah, some of these contracts are just awful. What if we offer one of these? What if we offer one of these guys? So let's offer Burakovsky. Let's see if there's any interest in him. No interest. Okay. There's got to be some interest for Burakovsky. Let's go back to the trade. Somebody has to want Burakovsky. Let's go back and let's talk to St. Louis again. What is with these no movement clauses, Seattle? You are killing me. Canucks, Islanders, Flames, Lightning, King, Rangers. What about the Rangers? They don't have the cap space. Is Pittsburgh one of the teams? No. Kings, Lightning, Flames. What about Calgary? Nope. About the Kings? No. Well, I guess technically they could take that deal on. I would retain. And we're close, though. What if I gave you a 1st and I gave you Toronto's 2nd? We retained 40% of Burakovsky's contract this season. That is just this season, right? And then we get a 1st, we give them Toronto's 2nd, and we move into the 2nd round. I mean, let's try it. I don't know that's a great deal, but it gets us those 2 first-round picks, which is something I wanted. Again, slow sim speed, so we'll keep going here. So what'll happen is I think we make a few deals. I'll sim ahead to the trade deadline. We'll see if there's anything we can do last minute, because I don't want this to be like a 2-hour video. Although, I mean, an hour is probably fine for the trade deadline. It's a big deal, right? So let's go to the next day, because we haven't gotten an answer on either of those deals yet. Great, Borgen is on the brink of returning. Oh, Carlo's down. For how long? He's day-to-day with a bruised back. Replaced with Borgen. Sim the day. So we're without our best defenseman and our best forward, which means we're probably going to go into Winnipeg and win. Nope, we lose 4-1. It's fine, though. All right, so the Kings give us a no way. It's close to being all right. Okay, so if it's close to being all right, what else would you need? They don't have, I can't give them another player because, well, we just don't have, they don't have the salary cap space for that. I mean, I'd be fine giving up one of these fifths. Let's offer it. Let's just offer it and see what happens. Yeah, and this isn't even with trading set on the highest difficulty. It's the second highest difficulty. So having it set on the highest difficulty, maybe I get there at some point, but I'm not there yet. Not there yet for sure. Right now, there are 3 teams that are worse than us: Chicago, Arizona, and the Sharks. Oh, okay, so we got some players on waivers that are interesting. Ryan Poling. Robbie Fabry. He's pretty good offensively. Terry's 33 years old. What's Fabry's contract look like? 3 years. Yeah, no, that's too much. Not paying him that much money. Why can't I go to my mail? All right. Because we still got nothing there. All right. Let's sim ahead. Let's go to the next day. We're at home against Philadelphia. 4-2 win. Interesting. Still no word on any of these deals, so we'll probably go back in and re-discuss. Burakovsky with the power play goal, Schwartz with the power play goal, Larson and Schultz. Grubauer stops 36 out of 34. Has Blackwood gotten a start yet? Yeah, 1. And he was 1-0. 1-0. Let's sim ahead one more day and see if we get an answer on any of those trade deals. If not, we'll try again. I gotta move some of those contracts before those players start to decline. I feel like I should be able to move Eberle. It's close to being all right. So our scout thinks that's a well-balanced offer. I don't want to move up with our second because our second's going to be a high second-round pick. So let's go Colorado's 4th. Let's try that. Let's go back here. And, okay, so Carlo's back, so we can replace Borgen with Carlo. What other deals do we want to try to move? Tanev needs to go. Larson, his contract, I don't love, but I like the 16 defense. I like having the 2 solid defensive defensemen there. Wenberg, I feel like we should be able to move. So let's talk to Tampa because they had a lot of cap space. Wenberg. It says they've got plenty of cap space. Do I have to retain? Okay, so we can retain some of it. All right. Lightning rights. You got anybody that you want to give up? Hardly likely. Hardly likely. Max Crozier, hardly likely. Don't see any player that will make that work. Okay. Connor Kurth, hardly likely. All right, so they don't like Wenberg at all. What about draft picks? You think that they will probably accept this offer. Can I get 2/3? No. What about a third and a fourth next year? Maybe you're wrong, but you don't think they'll accept that. I mean, I would be fine moving Wenberg for a third, I suppose. I would rather, though. Jerk. Schultz is fine. He's only on 2 years, and it's only $3 million. Eberle, I feel like should have value because it's only a 2-year contract. I would love to move, one of these other ones like Grubauer or something like that. And would you take Grubauer for a third? I mean, if we get Grubauer for a third, I would take that in a heartbeat. He's been really good, but I want to get that 5-year deal off the books. I would even take him for a fourth. So we'll see what they say, see what sort of reply they give us. Carlo's hurt again. What's wrong with him this time? He's out with a sore thumb. No way. Okay. Close to being all right, though. So Toronto's second. So our scout thinks this is a well-balanced offer. Oops, not what I wanted to do. What else can I give you that would interest you at all? You want Ryan Donato? I can't. Yeah, I literally can't give them another player. It has to be a draft pick. All right. So we have 2/3 next year. I mean, do I want? They'll probably accept that offer. Is that something I wanted? Like, that seems like a lot to move up into the first round. Yeah, I don't know that I want to give up I mean, they're Toronto, so in theory they're going to be low picks, and it moves us. Yeah, Burakovsky's a 5-year contract for Burakovsky. It takes him until he's 33. It means then that we would have, instead of having a first two, I feel like having a first 2 seconds and 2/3 is more valuable than having 2 firsts. It's just sort of the way I look at it. So let's do this. Let's see. Grans? Helg Grans? Nope. They think he's a top player. Okay. Kings draft picks. You don't think they'll accept it for a second and a third. What if I do it this way? What if we just kind of back things off here a little bit? What if I give you Colorado's fourth and Burakovsky for a second? Still not great, but at least we are. Jonas Siegenthaler. Yep, he's somebody we're going to put a claim in on 100%. 25-year-old, 16 defense. So again, we're going to have players who can't score, who can't really do anything offensively, but defensively they have some chops. And that should give us 316 defensive rated defensemen. We lose 5-1 to San Jose. Yeah, that Grubauer deal is one that would be huge. All right, so Tampa. Fantastic. We're going to send Philip Grubauer to the Tampa Bay Lightning for a third-round draft pick. That clears up the cap space 100%. Yes, let's do that. So now we can go to Coachella. We can call Jones back up. Go back to Seattle. Go to the lines. Put Jones. He's not in the lineup yet. Got to put him in the lineup. And then it's going to be our backup. Mackenzie Blackwood will be the starter. So that's huge. So that clears up a bunch of cap space for us right off the bat. It will also allow us to re-sign. Well, this will kind of be a tryout period for Blackwood, but I can see us signing him. So True will come out and Beniers will go back in. All right, so that's one deal down. That's nice. And we did get Siegenthaler, so that's awesome too. So let's make sure we put him out there. Replace him with Siegenthaler. And I'm not really concerned about their positions right now. You know, eventually Carlos Siegenthaler. Right now, Carlos Siegenthaler, Larson, and I mean, I guess really Schultz is our top four. That's not an awful top four. It's younger. That's for sure. It's definitely younger, and there's still some development there. So I like the waiver claims we've made. Love moving Grubauer, although he's played really, really well for us. Moving him now is fantastic. What do we have for trade block? Anything of note that isn't us? Adam Gaudette. No, not really. Oh, that's right. We put Sprong on the trade block. Anybody interested in Sprong? No offers for Daniel Sprong. Interesting. All right, let's delete our messages. Let's keep going. Trade between Minnesota and Nashville. Dakota Mermis for a 6th-round pick. I don't know who that is. Carlo still needs to be held out, so we'll send him ahead another day. I am recording, yes. I am recording, yes. 25-29, and we beat the Bruins 4-1. Let's go. Cale Fleury, Eberle, Wenberg, and Yanni Gourde. Max Jones gets the start, stop 16 out of 17. Still no answers on any of those deals that we put out there. Let's get to the next day, and we will try again. We'll dive back in and see what we can find. If I get someone to take Tanev and maybe one of those forwards with the 4 or 5 year contracts, I feel like that would be a good starting spot. Max Domi to the Maple Leafs for a 3rd. Interesting trade there. Carlo is back. So who comes out? 1, 2, 3, 4. Fleury comes out. Fleury comes out. Carlo goes in. And trade-wise. All right, so we got Schwartz. 4 years at 5.5. Eberle. I feel like Eberle would have the most value given that he's only got 2 years left. Burakovsky. Bjorkstrand, I'd like to hold on to. Just, I don't know. I mean, do I? I mean, 15 rated offense, 13 defense, 15 physical. I mean, he's not terrible. McCann, 5 years. I mean, Alexiak's contract is absurd. Let's see about Yanni Gourde. Let's see if we can move Yanni Gourde. Who does Yanni Gourde want to go to St. Louis? Feels like he'd be a good fit in St. Louis. Got a no trade clause. The Rangers, Vegas. Yanni Gourde. It's not what I wanted to do. Yanni Gourde. Can't add that much to payroll. All right, so there we go. They want to win it all as soon as possible, so they're likely to overvalue players and undervalue prospects and draft picks. That's what I'm hoping for. Noah Ellis looks okay. It's a well-balanced offer. We don't have any scouting on him at all, so that's tough. It's tough to make that deal with no scouting. What about Hallam? Maybe you're wrong, but you don't think they will accept that offer. I mean, again, we don't have much. We don't have any information on him. It's hard to make a deal for a. I mean, he's a potential 3.5-star player. I mean, I bet if I came in here and said, "Here, have a draft," yeah, like that makes it reasonable. And I feel like even if he's 3.5 stars, I feel like that's a good deal. So let's just offer. But I have to increase the offer a little. Okay, so we're at that point where we're going to start getting answers from them right away, which I like. What about Tampa's third? Okay, so we can give up Yanni Gourde and a third and pick up Jackson Hallam. Is that how I want to spend my draft capital, though? I guess that's the question. I would almost rather do it this way. A fourth. Would you do a fourth and a fifth instead? No. So I got 2/3 this year. No. So I've got 2/3 this year and I have 2/3 next season. Do I want to give up? Maybe I give up the third next year. Give up the third next year. Pick up Jackson Hallam, 4-star. I mean, I like his role ratings are good, but again, we don't have any scouting. So let's. Guess we can try scouting him. How's he done down in Michigan? 12 points in 33 games. He had 49 and 41 games against the Gamblers. But again, this is a lottery type style pick here, right? I mean, that third round pick seems fairly insignificant for Toronto next year. Golden Knights rights. I mean, I don't have any information about him. He was a third-round pick of the Knights in 2020. So basically, we're giving up a late third-round pick and getting out of Yanni Gourde's contract for a previous third-round pick, and I think I'm okay with that given where we are. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know what you think of that deal. I am fine with it. Can we squeeze another draft pick out of? Wow, they get nothing. Can we squeeze a 4th-round pick in 2025? No. What about a 5th-round pick just to get as much value as possible? No. Okay. So I think we have to do this. So let's make the deal. Finalize the trade, move on from Yanni Gourde. Cool, so that's another contract we have moved off of our books. Who's going to get the call-up? Jesper Fruden. Former Bruin. Sure, we'll call him up. And we'll put True in. All right, so we've made a couple of deals. Yanni Gourde and a third next year for the rights to Jackson Hallam. Let's get some scouting done on him. And let's submit another day. Those were, I'd like to move Tanev too. It's only $3.5 million, but it's $3.5 million for 3 years. Trade deadline is nearing. We know that. All right, we can delete all the mess. Ooh, a trade. Jeremy Gourde for a 5th. It's not much of a deal. Or, I guess it's a deal, but it's not going to make an impact, I don't think. Let's sim ahead another day. A game at home against Toronto. We win. 5-2 win. All right, that's interesting. A trade between Dallas and Carolina. Alex Petrovich, the veteran, for a 7th. Craig Smith on the trade block. He's 33 years old. His contract expires at the end of the year, though, right? Yeah. All right, let's take a look again at, let's see if we have anybody new on the trade block. Pastrnak is on the trade block. Are you kidding me? Because they haven't signed him. See, that's the kind of thing that, like, I want to make sure we have cap space for someone like David Pastrnak. I mean, I can't imagine that we would have anything close to what Boston would want to, like, pick him up. But, you know, we would literally have to give up, you know, draft picks, and I can't add that much salary right now anyway. But that's good to know that the Bruins haven't re-signed Pasta, so that's definitely a target. I mean, imagine putting Pasta on the wing with Beniers for the next decade. Yeah, I'm down with the idea of that. So what do we need to do to try to clear some additional cap space? I mean, we're down to 71 million, so we're doing a pretty good job. Donato's contract expired. We may just let him walk. McCann's 26. Yeah, Tanev. Oh, Schwartz is hurt. Okay. Let's put Fruden in for him. And let's try. Let's try to make some more deals. Let's look at the standings again. So we've made a deal with Tampa so far, and Vegas. So Carolina's in first place. The Rangers. Let's talk to the Rangers. Do they have cap space? They only have 1.4 million, so not much. What about Carolina? $15 million. So they got plenty of cap space. Would they be interested in a Jaden Schwartz? Jaden Schwartz is not interested in them. What about an Eberle? Nope. What about a Bjorkstrand? All of these guys have got no trade clauses that won't allow them to go to Carolina. Ryan Donato. You can have Ryan Donato for, that's the wrong team, Carolina. So all these guys still have no trade clauses to these places? Yep. All right. Ryan Donato. You can have Ryan Donato for a draft pick. Hurricanes draft picks. Give me a third. Well-balanced offer. Wow. Okay, so would a second work? What if I took a second back and gave you a third? Wow. Okay, so what if I gave you a second back and gave you a fourth? Okay, so it's going to be a third, which is fine. Let's give you Tampa's third. I'm fine with this. Ryan Donato, somebody that we're not going to sign, and a third-round pick, and we move into the second round. I'm fine with that. Let's finalize that deal. Sim ahead. Healthy player who is healthy. Dredger. We can send him to Coachella. Put him on waivers. Carson Soucy. Send him to Coachella. Place him on waivers. We got a couple of players on the waiver wire. Nobody of real interest. Got a 30-year-old and a 32-year-old Luke Witkowski. Blues. Let's sim through today. Let's get to March 1st because the trade deadline's March 3rd. And I think maybe we try to make one more deal. We lose 2-1. That's fine. So we still have 1, 2, 3 teams that have worse records than us. Columbus, Chicago, 4 teams. Chicago, Columbus, Arizona, and San Jose. It's going to take a second because it's going to kick over into March. All right. Wenberg is out with a fractured rib. I don't want to delay his treatment. but we are going to try to trade him. No offers. Okay. Alex Kerfoot is on the trade block. Development report. Riker Evans continues to get better. Like to see that. Shane Wright gets better. Jagger Furcus gets better. All these players will likely be with the team next year. Beniers gets better. Chalowski, Cole Lynn, Sprong. Schultz and Tanev get worse. What's his contract? Just this year and next. Okay. And then Tanev is this year, next year, and the year after. We got to move monthly budget. Do we got to make any changes there? No, I don't think we do. Have everything the way that it is. Trade offer. Let's just pick a random team. Let's go to Dallas. You want Brandon Tanev? For literally anything? Fourth? I think that's a well-balanced offer. Okay, so you'll make that deal. Will you make it for a third next year? It's far too weak. Yeah, there's definitely a line between the third and the fourth round picks where the game just doesn't value. What if we do this again? What if we put a second on there and we come in here to our draft picks and we give you one of our thirds from... Oh, we only have one third next year, right? Because we just traded one. But I would be fine to move out of the third round. It's hardly likely. Okay, so what if we ask Dallas for a third round pick and then give them a fourth? They don't have a third this year. So what if we give them a third this year and we give them back... we give them Colorado's fourth? It's 2 weeks. They don't want Colorado's fourth. What if they take Winnipeg's? No. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be a fourth. It looks like that's going to be what we get for Tanev, and I am fine with that. Let's go ahead and make that deal. Got to get his contract out of there. Cool. And then that may be it. That may be it, guys. Wenberg? Yeah, I mean, what can we get for Wenberg? Wenberg is a no trade clause. Florida? Can't have that much salary. Oh, they are under, or they are over their payroll budget. Rangers? They can't either. All right, so let's find those teams that he's interested in going to again. Philadelphia and Vancouver. Philadelphia's got cap space. All right. They're looking long-term, so it might be a little bit harder to get draft picks from them. Yeah, hardly likely that they'll accept that. We would be below the... Okay, so we're at that point now where we are at the floor cap. All right, so we're good here. We are good here. We have 18 players dressed. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have a lot of defensemen. We need to call up some forwards. We will call up... players got hurt since the last time I was here. Henman, Cameron Hughes, and... All right, so then we go back to Seattle. We'll let the AI dress the players. We'll let the AI set the lines, I guess, at this point. Yeah, and it's fine. All right, let's get to the trade deadline, and we'll stop at the trade deadline and see what the see who's on the block. Too many active players. All right, because we have 24 players. We got Schwartz, who's out for day-to-day. Wenberg's out for 1 to 2 months. We'll put him on the injury list. All right, let's get to the trade deadline. So overall, that's fine. I think we moved some contracts. It gets us down near the salary floor, puts us in play for someone like Pasta in the offseason if the Bruins don't re-sign him, which would be fantastic. I'll throw $10 million a year at David Pastrnak, especially given that so many of our players are going to be young without a lot of money. Satisfied with the team's performance. Time to tear this team apart. Get rid of the veterans. We're going to be rebuilding. Replacing me is out of the question. I know it is because that's how I have the game set. Goss is here. Dr. Shepard. All right, let's take a quick look at the trade block. Klingberg, Pavel Zacha, another Bruin free agent. I mean, it's a couple of young players, but my hope is that the Bruins just choose not to re-sign him and he becomes a free agent and we can make a run at Pasta. Zacha's had a pretty good year for them. He's somebody we might consider, especially if we can move on from, if we can move a forward like Eberle in the offseason and replace him with Zacha, for the same money, get someone who's 7 years younger. Like, that seems like a pretty good deal. In fact, is that something they're interested in doing? Oops. He doesn't want to be traded there. Okay. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, there are a couple of decent names here. So that's going to do it from a trade perspective, I think, guys. Again, this first year is just a matter of getting through this season. I'm happy with the waiver wire acquisitions we made, Mackenzie Blackwood and Siegenthaler. So we pick up a couple of decent young players. Mackenzie Blackwood I will probably re-sign between now and the end of the year. And this is all about the draft and next season, and we are loaded from a draft perspective now. We have a first, we have 3 seconds, a third, 3/4, 2/5. So we can probably use some of these draft picks to move up into the first round if there's a talent that we want. Without really giving up much next year, right? Like, we still have 2024 first. We still have all of our draft picks. Same thing in 2025. So we haven't really given up anything. We've just moved up. We had a couple of we had a first, a second, 2/3, and a couple of fourths. We now have 3 second-round picks. So if the second round doesn't look like it's going to be all that good, we can move up into the first round pretty easily or trade back to next season. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. When we come back, it will be the end of the year. I'll probably sim through the postseason and whatnot at this point because obviously we're not going to make it. We'll just do a quick recap of the team and the league stats, and we'll get into the off season. So as always, guys, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate your support. Leave the video a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the deals, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.